I know everyone's been asking when we were going to get Katie on here. She kind of came into our company in a flurry and was taking names as she was going. Super mass enroller, super sweetheart. I'll let her tell her story, but I just love her. I love her outlook on life. I've never once heard her complain, even when she's had to deal with some customers that were just not so nice sometimes. She just is a go-getter, and she makes a goal and she goes after it, and I just love that. And she works full-time. She has a husband. She has 4 kids. She's not busy, you know, so she just makes no excuses, and she's got some major goals, and I just love her to pieces. So she's been such a huge breath of fresh air to our team, and I can't wait to have her tell you what's been working. So Katie, go ahead and unmute yourself, sweetheart, and I'll let you tell your story real quick.
Hey, everybody. I'm Katie. So in January, Freya sent me a message and just said, she started by asking me about product. And like everyone, I think most people, I was interested. So I actually ordered the Thermophyte, and then she followed up a couple days later with just asking if I was interested in working the business. So Courtney kind of touched on it a little bit. I'm a full-time autism specialist for all of the secondary students in my school district. We're the second largest school district in Utah, in Salt Lake County. And I have 18, 19 schools, and I serve kids 14 to 22. So that's my day job. So if you ever message me and I don't get back to you, I promise I'm not ignoring you. I'm just at my other job. And most of the time at that job, my phone is away and my Apple Watch is off, because if they're out in the open, there's a strong possibility that I won't have them anymore. So I do a lot of behavior training, and that's my day job. And then so Freya asked me about this job, and of course I wanted some extra money. So I ended up saying yes, and I'm just not a person, my personality is such that if I'm going to jump into something, I'm going to jump into it wholeheartedly, and I'm going to give it my all. And so that's kind of my story, and I promoted to Ruby my first month, Emerald my second month, and Diamond my third month. So.
And you are such a rock star, and we'll touch on this a little bit later, but one of the things I really admire about Katie is she takes time when she knows she needs time to recharge, but she doesn't take a ton of time. Like, she might come home after work one day and be like, I got scratched and bit by a student today. I need a few hours. I'll message you guys tonight. Like, lets us know what she's doing, but then jumps right back in. She doesn't stay down long. She's also a divorced mama, so she has a blended family, which my heart goes out to that dynamic as well. So she juggles a lot. Work is not always blissful. It's kind of stressful being in education, especially dealing with special needs. So another thing that ties her and Freya together is she runs and pushes Freya's kids and these marathons. So you'll often see her getting her shoes laced up and running a 5K or a 10K or a half marathon. So she just has a heart of gold, a servant heart. And she couldn't be more true when she said, you know, if she's going to do something, she's going to do it all the way. And I think that's one thing that all of us want to do, but we don't know how to do it. Like, we say we want to jump in, but we don't really know what that looks like. Or life starts to get a little hard, and then we start stressing out, and we come up with excuses of, you know, why we can't be working towards our dreams while life is happening, or why we can't push through something when life gets a little hard. So I'm so excited about the Zoom. I want you guys to have a piece of paper out, because we're going to do something a little bit later, but you're going to want to take notes anyway, but have a piece of paper where you can write down something, because that's going to be the second half of this Zoom. So Katie, I want to know, how do you primarily work your business?
So the biggest ways that I work the business, I'm I'm very consistent about posting it to Facebook. I tried Instagram initially. It's just not my jam. I kind of wanted to keep Facebook as my work platform, if you will, and then I wanted to keep my Instagram as my Instagram, so that I just had one place for each of those things. So I kind of had to compartmentalize that. But I'm super consistent about posting every day. I post about opportunity. I'm getting better about posting and going live about that opportunity. That's not super comfortable with me, which I just think it's uncomfortable for everyone. But being a teacher, you would think that it would be a little bit more comfortable. I talk to kids all day. I train adults a lot of days, but for whatever reason, seeing my own face and hearing my own voice is super uncomfortable. So, but that's part of this business, is getting uncomfortable. So if you're not uncomfortable with where you're at or what you're doing, that's one thing that I really encourage you to do. Get uncomfortable, because great things happen when you do that. And so that's something I'm still working on. But I also am doing host-to-posts every single day. I'm reaching out to what Courtney and Amanda and Freya call the green light on my messenger. So anyone, I'll go through and I'll click on my messenger, and those people that are active, I'll just kind of reach out. And depending on who it is, I'll either reach out and ask them how they're doing, or if it's someone I know from high school, I'll ask how life is and what they're up to. Or if I don't really know them well, I'll kind of just get to the point and be more direct and say, can I ask you a question? So host-to-posts are huge for my business. And then most of my LCs come from people commenting directly on those host-to-posts or commenting directly on my Facebook posts.
And I loved it. I was at, because she gets out a ton of host posts. And, when you first start, I'm like, are you running out of your network? A lot of people say that they're running out of their network. And she's like, no, honestly, I'm not, because the people that are commenting, I'm asking them to host a post. So that is super important. If you are doing host a post daily, guys, you're going to be signing LCs. You're not going to run out of people to be messaging, opportunities to be had if you're doing that daily. When she signed Freya, or when Freya signed her in January, there was a 10-day period where they signed 52 loyal customers between them. Freya ended up going Ruby. Katie was mapped for Ruby. And it was just incredible. And it was all from host to post. They had a few days where they got out like 40, 50 host to posts, and they rode on those. They still got their few each day, but those mega days of host to post carried them through those last 10 days of the month, and they were able to sign over 52 customers, which is just incredible. So that really works. It has transformed network marketing. So if you're not doing host to post consistently, write that on your paper, because that's something that needs to be happening daily if you want to see that momentum and that growth. So you are mainly signing your loyal customers through host to post, correct?
Yep. Exactly.
I know a lot of people, like when I first started the business, I was a single mom. I was teaching 60 hours a week. I was exhausted when I got home. I didn't really have a job where I could be on my phone. So I know a lot of people are curious because you kind of have the same job where you're busy. You're constantly going to schools. You're dealing with students. You're dealing with parents and faculty. How do you work your business? How are you consistent every day with how busy your schedule is with being a full-time worker, a mama, a wife? How does your day look?
So this is something that I've had to work on, and part of it's my personality. So like when I told you guys I jump in wholeheartedly, I really do. And I jump in and then I kind of have to step back and find balance. So I get up, I'm the first one up in my house, and it depending on what time of the school year it is, depends on what time I'm up. So we have 7 days left, people. 7 days. I can make it. So this week I've been able to get up a little later, but during the middle of the school year, I'm up earlier. I'm up before my husband. I'm up before my kids. And so I put in probably 30 to 45 minutes before I go to my job. And then as my day allows, depending on the day, it will be different, but every single day. But I will respond to messages when I have a break, or when I go to use the bathroom, or when I'm on my lunch. I will take those opportunities, and that's kind of where I've created time within my day to say, okay, I'm going to get this post out before I go to work. I'm going to get this post out while I'm on lunch, and I'm going to respond to messages during that time. And then when I come home, after my kids go to bed, is I give myself an hour, and that's kind of, some days it's a little bit more, some days it's a little bit less, depending on my own mental health, which changes from day to day. But that's when I'm working my business, and I'm not doing it all day long, you guys. So, because I just can't. I mean, I could, but then I wouldn't be doing all of my other things well. So, and that's something I had to learn. I had to balance that. I had to say, okay, at 10 o'clock at night, I'm done working the business, and that's my time with my husband. Or when I'm putting my kids to bed, that's their time. That's my time with them. And I'm not on calls, and I'm not on my phone, and I'm not messaging. That's their time. And if I take that away from them, then I'm hurting the relationship with them. So that's kind of how I work the business and the time frame. I really am one of those people that 90 minutes, an hour to 90 minutes a day. On the weekends, I'm working more because I have the freedom to, but I'm not putting more than that into it because I don't have that time to give. And if I did that at first. I kind of threw myself all in, and I realized it was too much, and I had to back off of it a little bit. So I don't want it to affect. No one wants it to affect their relationships with their husband or their children or anything like that. So it's definitely a balance.
And that speaks volumes, because you have literally had a push month since January. Like, you went diamond in 90 days, guys. She didn't even qualify for the $3,000 guarantee because mid-April she beat that $3,000. So that just goes to show, guys, you can do this if you're deliberate. You can work this business in an hour a day if you're making sure you're doing those income producing activities. When I was teaching full-time, same with me. I did not have, I had a few minutes here and there, like when my students were at specials, I would check messages during lunch. I would check messages when I went to the potty. And then I would work a little bit at night. But you can surely do this in an hour to 2 hours every single day. Amanda did the same thing until she was home full time. And then obviously when you're home full time, you can work more and you're going to get paid more as you're working more. But you can definitely be making a full-time teaching income working, an hour to 2 hours a day. And who wouldn't put in that time to make $2,000 a month? Like, that is life-changing income. One thing I do love about Katie is that she does have that recharging. And I feel like some of us miss that key, crucial part. We can't be running a marathon 24/7. You will just get tired. You're going to want to quit. You're going to want to give up running altogether. Put your shoes up. You're not going to want to do another hill. You're not going to want to stop for water. You're just going to want to quit. So I love that I will message her on a Friday and see how school went. And she's like, great, I'm going home. We're going to go rock climbing. Or when it was wintertime, going home, we're taking the boys skiing. We're going to a movie. We're going bowling. Always doing something with the family. Family was coming first, and she's building this business into the nooks and crannies. So I love that. You have to have time to recharge. I watched a video from Jade Hooper a couple weeks ago, and she makes, I think she's the 4th top income earner in the company. And she says this has been a learned process, but she puts her phone on airplane mode. So she can still take pictures with her family, but from 4 to 7 every night, her phone's on airplane mode. She's not answering messages. She's spending time with her family. And then after the kids are in bed, she spends some time with her husband. She said she gives her husband an hour, and then she works the business. Throughout the day, when she has time, she's working stuff with her team. So I love that. And I've been kind of implementing that with a newborn and a 22-month-old. Life is a little crazy. So I do the same. So you have to find your groove that's going to make you be passionate about waking up, being excited about your job, being excited about your team. You have to find that groove. And Katie, I think you do amazing. So let's talk about mindset, because I think that's so huge in this business and how you've been able to stay in the game. And And like I said, Katie's had some customers that were like a little crazy, but I've never heard her complain. I've never heard her say this isn't for me. I've never heard her say like I need to take a break. And in fact, the month she was going Emerald, she took like I think like an 8-day trip to California, Disneyland, the whole shebang. And I was like, oh, I might hear from her here and there. Every single day she signed an LC. Every single day she was on vacation, and they were huge volumes. Like Freya and I, she'd pop into our chat and be like, I just have 294 BV to move. And we're like, what in the world? But it's all from host to post. She's like, yeah, I woke up early before Matthew was up and I got my host to post out. And so I've just been checking them while we're standing in line at Disneyland. What? So just so awesome, guys. So awesome. If you start your day with that, most of us are doing Miracle Morning. Start your day with getting host to post out. Then all you're doing throughout the day is responding to those messages. Before you go to bed, get a few more messages out asking for people to host for you, and then send them the post in the morning. So you're always waking up to volume, to potentials, to growth in your business. So I love how deliberate you are with the business. It's so awesome. So how did you keep going all month long? Like obviously you get tired with work. Just being a mom and a wife sometimes is exhausting. What kept you going? Like what do you do that keeps you going?
So I'm very, like Courtney said, I think she put it perfectly. I'm very deliberate about and as I've gotten older, I'm very good at knowing when I need me time. And I'm very deliberate about taking it. So, and Freya and Courtney will both attest to this. There are days that I'm like, you know what? I got bit today. I got spit on today. I'm taking a bath and I'm not responding to messages for an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever, but I'll be back. And so I think for me, I think a huge part of it for me is that I'm super intrinsically motivated. But more importantly, it's my why. Like, why would I do this business if I wasn't going to be able to help my family? Why would I continue to do the business if I wasn't getting out of it what I was putting into it? And so, you know, just like everything, there are certain things that are going to make you successful in what you do, and certain things that are research-based that are not. So the amount of effort you put in is what you're going to get in return. And something that I had to adjust to, and Courtney's referenced it a little bit, is because I do have such a high LC volume, I bring in a lot of volume, I sign a lot of new LCs most months. I do get more people that, you know, come back and maybe are upset that it's a 3-month deal, or that they've been charged a second month. And you guys, I have had some people who were legitimately off their rockers. And Freya can tell you this. Like, I called her one night and I just needed to cry to her. Like, I'm a good person, right? Like, I didn't do this and I messed up, but you know, we all mess up, and embracing those mistakes versus fighting them and pushing back against them is huge, and learning from them. So how do I make sure that next time this doesn't happen? But just being consistent is how it maintains. So there are days, I have days like everybody. I have days that I wake up and I'm like, ugh, I just want to do nothing today, right? But if I want to see the return in this business, then I've got to do what I know works, and consistency works. Getting those host to posts out works. Reaching out and posting on your Facebook and interacting with people before you put those posts out works. And then I have an auto shipment, and I've changed products. So I started with Thermal Fight. I added Fat Fighters. I've switched to hair, skin, and nails, and keto energy, and so that I can be a living testament kind of to what the products are and how you feel when you're on them, because that way I feel like I'm more believable to people. And that's a huge part for me, is being believable and being honest with people when they reach out and they ask those questions. And if I'm not sure, I reach out. I'm like, you know what? I'm not sure. Let me ask somebody else. I'll get back to you. But you know, those are kind of what I do. And I see somebody said, how are those difficult LCs handled? It's kind of dependent on the case. I always go back to my upline. So I always go back to Freya and Courtney and say, hey, this is what they're saying. And we deal with it on an individual basis, because there have been times I've messed up, and those are the times that we kind of just have to write it out. There could be instances where, I'm responsible for paying someone's membership fee back because I messed up, but I have to own that. And I have to be able to own that to move forward, and then to take that and then make myself stronger and a better person in this business, and then to affect other people positively. Because at the end of the day, if people don't have trust in you, then they're not going to buy from you. So that's what it comes down to for me. So I hope that answered. I don't know who asked that question. I just see iPhone. So if you have more, let me know.
I love that. And a lot of times, guys, when people are upset about the product, it really has nothing to do with the product. Like one of the first ones, customers that Katie, that was upset, her husband was deployed for a year, and she was getting anxious because he was coming home soon. And Katie's like, I don't know how to deal with her. So we got in a group chat, and I was just loving on her. Like, she just wanted to be heard and tell her story about how she's lonely and how she moms on her own. And she tries to be the best mom she can while her husband's deployed. And she ended up buying more product, guys. She didn't cancel. She ended up buying more. And so a lot of times we kind of have to get down to the root issue of like, okay, is it really the product, or can I switch this around and see, what's going on and be kind? But sometimes you can't. Like, you kind of just have to read each person. The membership fee Katie was talking about, and this is super important, of why we use the verbiage that we do of disclosing the $50 fee and disclosing the 3 months, is when she was in Disneyland, one of her messages that she sent, she did not disclose the $50 fee. So when that customer came back and said, I didn't know that there was a $50 fee if I canceled, Katie went back to her messages and she's like, oh my goodness, this is when I was in Disneyland and I just sent a quick message and didn't have it in there. So it's super important that we have that saved, and that's one that we're always using. And she's not going to do it again. Like, she knows that costs $50. And so she's not gonna not disclose that again. So we want to just make sure that we're using the messages that work, and the ones that Amanda and I have given you and your uplines, because that does go over the customer agreement and disclose all of that information. Katie, I wanted to mention one thing that I loved, and I hadn't really thought about it before, but you had said, like, if I'm going to work this business and be away from my family, like, I want to make a paycheck. Like, if we are going to be working a couple hours a day, and some of you tell me you're working like 6, 7, 8 hours a day, then those paychecks should be reflecting that if we're doing deliberate activities. I remember when I was a Ruby, I'd come to Amanda and I'm like, I'm doing everything. I'm working all the time. And she's like, really? Because your numbers aren't really showing it. And I would sit down and tell her what I'm doing. And if I was being honest with myself, guys, I was scrolling Facebook most of the time. Like, I'd get squirrel brain and I would find someone's story and start reading that, and then looking up, friends and what they're up to. So if you have to set a timer, if you have to write down steps and cross them off, write down your core 4 and go back to that poll and check them off when you're done, do what helps you to be deliberate. Because honestly, if you are doing those tasks, you are going to have those paychecks that reflect that. You really, really are. If you're doing your steps to success, you're going to have those average paychecks that reflect. You're going to have that $500 Ruby check. You're going to have that $1,100 Emerald check, $900 Emerald check, because you're doing the steps to get you there. And that's just the truth. And sometimes it's hard to hear. And when Amanda would tell me that, I'd almost get ticked off, because like, you don't know how hard I work. I'm putting in a lot of work. And when I realized it was wasted work. Like, no one needs to be working this business 24/7. No one does. If you are, you're not working the business, because you would be making thousands of dollars a month if that was the case. You really would. So let's get more deliberate on our steps that we're doing. And do them well and do them consistently. I know that some of us, our goal is to get 5 to 10 hosts to post out. Some of us are getting 1 out every 3 days. That's like 10 a month. That's not going to produce results. And another thing that Amanda said to me when I was going like Ruby Emerald, and I was like proud of like the one distributor I signed that month. She's like, I'm super proud of you, babe, but it's going to take you a year and a half to get to Emerald if you're only signing one distributor a month. So we want that momentum. We want to do our steps. We want to teach our team to do our steps. And that's really what Katie has done. She's produced a a ruby every month, and she went diamond in 3 months. So let's talk about doubts. Did you have any doubts throughout the month? Did you ever doubt like, oh, diamond wasn't going to happen? How was your mindset, beginning of the month, mid-month, end month?
I think my mindset going in is I think you have to make goals for yourself, and then you have to state those positive affirmations every single day of how you're going to meet that goal. And so at the beginning of the month, I'll be honest, I'm great at those. I'm saying my affirmations daily or even multiple times daily, and I'm on top of it, and my host posts are getting out, and I'm on top of my posts. And depending on how that goes, generally speaking, either the beginning of my month is really slow or the end of my month is really slow. So, it is easy for doubt to come into your mind. But when I start feeling that way, I rely on my upline. I reach out, and it's not, no one is buying product. Woe is me. I can't do this. For me, here's what I'm doing. What can I do now to make sure that I get those DTs? What can I do to make sure that the DTs that I have, I'm teaching them what they need to be taught, that I'm reaching out adequately, that I'm giving them what they need, and I'm feeding them what they need to be successful in the business. And it's never like, oh, I'm not going to make it. It's what can I do to help push even more? Mm-hmm. What can I change? How should I switch it up? Courtney and I talked earlier this week, and we had a conversation like, hey, Thermophyte isn't doing as well this month. Do you think I should switch out my product from my host to post? And she came back and said, yeah, try the cleanse this month, or try the keto coffee, switch it up a little bit. And so I did. And the last couple of days, I've gotten more responses from those. There's always going to be times in business that are great, and there's always going to be times that kind of slow down. And that's something that you have to just expect. And instead of your mindset of how to deal with that, then says like how you will move forward from that. Are you determined? Are you diligent? Are you consistent? If you are, then it's going to come around and it'll hit you at some point during that month. And if you're not, and you stop working it because it's not working, then it's not going to work for you. And that's just kind of the reality of this business. Nobody's going to know about it if you don't put it out there every single day. And you can talk to people, but you can't make them make a choice. So I think that it's just being consistent, and then, it's normal to have doubts, and that's something that everybody works through. But go back to your upline, reach out to your support system that you guys all have and that are there, and rely on them. Ask them what you could be doing differently, or what needs to change, and have it phrased that way versus nobody wants my product and I can't do it. It's a different approach. So
that's so wonderful. I love that. And I feel like you are such an amazing example of being a student, of coming and saying like, I don't know if this is working. Should I try it this way? Or, what do you think about this? And also being that product of the product. You had mentioned an auto ship. I think that's huge, guys, because people want to see you trying the product. They don't want to see just a post with a random like Thermophyte sitting on a table. They want to see you holding the Thermophyte. They want to see you dropping weight. They want to see you having more energy because of your keto energy or your keto coffee. They want to see you as a real person. And guys, our products are amazing. I use like a dozen any given day. My sister-in-law, I don't know if she's still on here. She's working out at the gym, but her and her fiance, they are in like the bodybuilding fitness world, and she's so excited about these products. She's telling me all the time, I'm kind of a nerd with all the ingredients, but she knows even more than I do. And she makes me even more excited because she's like, this is really awesome stuff. The ketones, she's like, these are the best ketones that I've ever had. Because of the ingredients that they have. So what we have is really awesome, but you don't know that unless you're trying it. And if money's tight, guys, just buy stuff that you can try and then sell. Do the 4 for $20, buy the keto coffee, sell it 4 for $20, try a few yourself, and then make, 3 times what your auto shipment's going to be. just being diligent and doing that. And you guys are going to be blessed with that, because that genuineness, I think that's a word, that sells, and that's authentic, and people love and they yearn for authenticity these days. So I just love that so much. Okay, so I want you to give us one last tip, and if you guys are done asking Katie questions, that will be your time to put them in there real quick if you guys had any other questions for her. But I want you to leave us with one tip that you have. Let's do one for a new DT that's coming in, and then someone that might be struggling right now, saying that they can't sign someone, saying that the business is hard. Let's do one of each of those.
Okay. All right. So for new DTs, I would say, and this was hard for me at first as well, because I am trying to balance all these different things, but the more Zoom and team trainings and the more power hours you can show up to, the better. That as a new DT, those are, and even as a not new DT, those are like my saving grace. So I love getting on a power hour and getting new verbiage to use or to try on Host to Post, and then having time to sit there during that power hour and to send it out. And I love the training that comes with that. So for new DTs, that's the one thing I would say is show up to your Zooms, show up to your team trainings, try to get to those power hours. I'm super jealous for all of you who are not working day jobs. I never get to go to Amanda's power hours because I'm always at work. And Freya's too. Those are two of the people that I like most want to go see, but I just can't right now. Summer's coming, 7 days. I will be there. But for those of you who are maybe struggling with getting LCs, just continue. Like I've had that this month a little bit. This has not been a super like high enrolling month for me. Change up your verbiage, change up your Host to Post. Make sure that on Facebook you are interacting with people, that you're building that network all the time, and that you're mixing up like both personal posts about things that have nothing to do with our business at all, and then things that have to do with our business, and be deliberate about how that looks. If you were be on that other side, like if this were you and you were reading it, would you buy into the product if you saw that message? And if you wouldn't, then change it, because if you don't buy into it, then nobody else is. Because when they reach out to you and say, well, are you trying it, or how much have you lost, or something like that, you need to be able to answer that honestly. And if you're not trying it, or if you don't know, then that authenticity is not there. So those are my two takeaways.
And the one thing I love about Thermify and the products that are coming out, guys, there's so many testimonials. So I haven't tried Thermify. I've been pregnant and I'm nursing, but I can say, like, here's the HubPub clinical study. Like, here are pictures of people that are having great results. So we have all these tools. We have every single tool imaginable, possible for you guys to be absolutely 100% successful in this business. We have the learning tab on our team page. We have the daily polls. We have weekly Zooms. We have uplines that are absolutely fantastic. When I joined, guys, I had Amanda and Caitlin, and that is all that we had. We have 28 diamonds and above on this team. We have so many leaders that have just a wealth of knowledge. So really reach out to your upline. If you're having a rough day, if you're feeling like you have a negative headspace or that it's slowed down, reach out to us, because we're gonna tell you first, okay, we've been there. Let us show you how to get out of this slump. Let us give you something to do today that's gonna help improve that. But if you're not reaching out, guys, you guys are just sitting in that longer. So Katie, I just adore you. I learn so much from you and Freya every day. Just your hearts, your servant hearts, your determination, just the way that you are a mom and you parent and being a wife. And so I'm so grateful that you are part of this team. And thank you for filling us tonight.
Well, thank you.
So I'm excited for the second part because it is midway through the month. This is our second Zoom of the month. We have 17 days left. So this is when I want you guys to get out your paper that you have or your phone where you guys can type something. I watched an incredible Zoom last night and I shared it, and most of you probably had it shared in your team pages, but it was a Zoom about being a champion. And in 2018, at the end of conference, Mark Pentecost, he shared that song, The Champion by Carrie Underwood. And so Triples and Above, two of the Triples and Above did a Zoom last night, and I just loved it. And I thought, oh my gosh, so true. What a godsend. So I wanted to do a little piece from that just because I thought it's so helpful, and kind of add my own part to it. Because as I was thinking today and praying today about what we need to move forward in this month, these are the thoughts that came to me. So I hope that you guys take something from this. I hope that you guys use it daily. When you guys are getting in a funk, use it even more. Recognize when that's happening, and share it with people. Share it with your team. Share it with your family. Share it with people that this can benefit. So what I want us to do tonight is really just shed those thoughts that are no longer serving us. Shed those things in our life that are not serving us and that are holding us back. So I want you to write down a few things that you can think of off the top of your head, and we're going to be completely honest. And you guys can put them in the comments, so you can show your paper on screen. And I want you to write down some of the lies that you tell yourself. Write down some of the fears that you have. It might be that you think you're lazy. It might be that you don't think you're good enough. It might be that you're fearful of losing a rank. It might be that you think you don't deserve money or love or acceptance. I want you to write down some of the things on a daily basis that are holding you back, that are not serving you. I'm going to give you guys like 1 minute to do that and start putting them in the comments. And I'm going to read them as they come in. I'm not worthy. I don't think I'm a good enough leader. Fear of succeeding. I'm going to lose my ranking. I'm not giving my team enough support. Fear of failing my team. I'm not a good leader. I don't have patience. Going to lose my rank, and fear of success. Boys, I don't have enough time. Fear of not being a good leader when I get there. Fear of not making it in this business. I'm not a good leader, not self-disciplined enough. I get excited to start something, but I don't succeed right away. I give up. I'm tired. Fear of letting my team down. I got to get a better mindset. I'm too shy. I'm not working hard enough. I'm not enough. I can do this later. Fear of trying my hardest and not going anywhere. Fear of reaching out to people I've never met. Fear of being consistent. Fear of not succeeding. Being too much of a people pleaser. Not being ready for triples. Scared to disappoint my kids. I can call them tomorrow. Procrastination, not being organized. Guys, these are awesome. Keep them coming. I want you guys to write down everything that has been holding you back. Get it on paper, because we are shedding that tonight. Being negative on myself and don't think I can help my team. Fear of failing. Fear of adding people I don't know to my life. Afraid my team's not following. Anger. Fear of not reaching goals or doing my path slow because my heart wants it now. Fear of giving up, having my team give up. Not getting customers, that my customers won't like the product. Not focusing, failing my team. Fear of my team not catching the vision. Getting down when people say no, not focused. Telling myself I'm too tired, not having enough knowledge. Keep them coming, guys. Write them all down. Being tired. Feeling overwhelmed. Okay, guys, write them on your paper, write them on your phone. I want you guys to realize that words have power, that your thoughts and your beliefs turn into thoughts, and those thoughts turn into words, and those words turn into actions, guys, and those actions become your habits and your values and what you are going to produce in your life. So we have to be so careful of what we're feeding our belief system and our thoughts. Guys, if you think you're lazy, you're going to be lazy. If you think you can't, you know that quote that says, if you can or can't, you're right? It's so true. If you think you can't get LCs, you're not going to get LCs. If you think you can't get DTs, you're not going to get DTs. If you think you're not good enough to hit triple diamond and make $10,000, $15,000 a month, guys, That's not going to happen for you because you're limiting your life. Your brain doesn't know any different. And those actions just follow. So we have to clear those things quickly when they come into our brain. And guys, this is hard and this is painful because this is years of conditioning ourselves, years of not feeling good enough, years of having people tell us that we're failures, maybe, years of failing, years of saying I can't, years of saying I'm lazy, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. Guys, you are. So we're going to do an exercise. I want every time you say something, every time you say, I can't get an LC, they did this last night in the Zoom. Pam Souter had said this one time, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And I'm going to do this every single time. I want every time you have that negative thought, I want you to put this verbiage behind it. I want you to say, and I like it that way. I'm lazy, and I like it that way. I can't get LCs, and I like it that way. My boyfriend, my fiance, my husband is mean to me, and I like it that way. I'm poor, and I live paycheck to paycheck, and I like it that way. If you can honestly sit there and say that, you're going to realize how powerful that is. You don't like it that way. You don't want it that way. So get it out of the way, guys. Get it out of your mind. Get it out of your heart. Get it out of your belief system. You guys have got to start believing in yourself. You guys have got to start shedding those thoughts that are holding you back. They're holding you back. They're holding you back. They're holding your team back. They're holding your kids back. They're holding your future back. They're holding your marriage back. They're holding your relationships back. They're holding your relationships with God back, guys. They're holding everything back. They're not serving you. And they keep happening and happening and happening and happening so you guys can shed them. I love it, Serenity. Say I'm done. Guys, say you're done. You're done letting that happen. You're done with these thoughts of you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you can't do it. Can't is not in your vocabulary anymore. It's not. You're amazing. You're confident. You're strong. You're beautiful. You're worthy. You're organized. You're going to do it. You're going to make your rank. You're going to keep your rank. You are going to save money. You're going to give money. You're going to have abundance in every area of your life. So those can'ts are going to turn into cans. Those times that you have those negative thoughts, tomorrow when you're frustrated that you might not have an LC, you're not going to say I can't get an LC, because you're going to put and I like it that way after, and you're going to realize how ridiculous that is. You don't like it that way. You don't want it that way, so don't think that way. If you don't like it and you don't want it, you have to change it, guys. We can't become what we want to become by staying where we're at. You've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to grow, and growing is so stinking painful. And I'm not going to lie, when I'm tired, guys, thoughts still creep in. I was driving home today thinking about this exercise and thinking about when I was sitting across from my ex-husband, trying to figure out custody with his new wife, who was his mistress. And I remember her looking across at me and saying, I feel bad for you, Courtney. He had to keep cheating and cheating and cheating until you got the point that he didn't want you. She's saying that to me, guys. And I could have taken that and I could have sat in that for years, and I could have decided I'm not worthy. Every guy's going to cheat on me. I'm not going to get married. I'm not going to have more kids. But I didn't. But sometimes when I'm tired, thoughts creep in sometimes. I have those thoughts come back and I push them away of no, it's other people that are unhealthy, guys. Don't let unhealthy people determine your future. Don't let friends that are around you or family that don't believe in you or your vision tell you how your life's going to go. They don't get to write that story for you. It doesn't matter how you grew up or what's happened in your life or what traumas you've had or what ailments you have. Anything that's going on in your life, you might have an autoimmune disorder that no one sees. You might have PTSD like me from trauma. You might have trust issues. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to hold you back. I can't even read the comments because they're coming in so quickly. But I need you guys to know that you're not going to be able to move forward until you shed these things that are no longer serving you. So write them down, get them out, speak life into you, and that is going to bring light into your life. That is going to bring the people that God wanted, the universe wanted in your life and on your team to you. But when you have all these false truths and these negativities and these things that are holding you back, are you going to grow a team that you want? Are you going to grow a team that's not going to keep falling? Are you going to keep falling? You're going to keep falling, and your team's going to keep falling. So we have to shed those things. And as you do this more often, you're going to be able, rather than sitting in these thoughts for days, for hours, for weeks, for months, for years, it's going to be just a few seconds. You're going to recognize, oh, that's a thought that's not serving me, and you're going to turn it around. The second that I'm like, oh, DTs aren't coming, nope, that thought turns around before I even speak it. Do not let those words come out of your mouth. Let that thought change it, and only positivity come out of your mouth. Do not bring negativity to your team. Do not bring negativity to the people around you, guys. Change that in your mind, and only positive things are coming out of your mouth, and watch it completely change your life. So I wanted to leave that with you. Freya's going to jump on for a few minutes. She's been sick, but that's what I love about this team, because they show up whether they're sick, whether they're busy, because we want to pour into you, whether their baby's awake and I'm kind of rocking and doing 10 things at once. I want you guys to know, because I've been there. I have been in the ashes of my life and had those thoughts of, am I enough? I've had people tell me I'm worthless. I've had people cheat on me. I've had things happen that are crushing. I've lost babies. I've lost marriages, but it doesn't define me, and it's not going to define how I live my life or how abundant my life is going to be with my kids. So those things that you wrote down, they're gone. They're gone. Shed up that paper, shred it, rip it, do whatever you need to do. And these next 17 days, guys, are going to be the most rocking days of your business. This team is going to get shouted out as the most enrollments. This team is going to be doing Zooms with Pam saying, gosh, enrollments were down because school's starting and all these other excuses, but we made it happen, guys, because when you have a vision, you're never going to fall backwards. You're going to keep falling forward. You're going to keep learning more. You're going to keep doing more. And that can only bring success. So, Freya, are you on, Sugar Bee?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
And I could just literally say amen, and we could all go home, because that was perfect. She literally said everything, almost everything that was in my notes. So, but my thing, for most of you that know me, I'm on my phone because I have sleeping babies all around me, and headphones so that they can't hear you guys. So I love personal development, and if any of you guys have been on my power hours or seen anything, I am a personal development junkie, and I love I am absolutely love, and I'm going to get her name right tonight, Lisa Nichols, right now. I am eating, drinking, and sleeping Lisa Nichols. Any podcast, anything I can get from that girl, I am like, bring it. She's amazing. She's a powerhouse. Everything she says just pours fire into my belly. And I'm like, I just need to share this with the world. Oh, I just need to share this with the world. And then our team, along with Amanda's team, our whole team, we're all doing the Miracle Morning. And I had read part of the book digitally, and I'm catching up in my paperback version. And I just have to. So this is the part of my life that my husband thinks is insane. So you guys, can you see my paperback version? I like write in it. I ink it up. I mark all over it. I write in the sides of it. I write all over my books. And so today, while I can't do that on digital, so I have been speed reading to catch up with where I needed to be in my paperback version. And today, while I was reading, there were some things that struck me. Last night, I fell asleep listening to the Zoom that Courtney was talking about because, sorry, the one skill we always teach our children first thing in their life is to share. And the one skill they do the best is share their dirty germs. So I have caught the same cold that my children have. So I apologize. But that being said, so the one thing, there were lots of bits and pieces and nuggets. But one of the things that I loved about the Miracle Morning this morning that I was reading, it says, it's in, I don't even know where it's at, but it says, you are just as worthy, deserving, and capable of creating and sustaining extraordinary health, wellness, happiness, love, and success in your life as any other person on earth. You must first dedicate time each day to becoming the person you need to be, one who is qualified and capable of consistently attracting, creating, and sustaining the level of success that you want. And then over a couple more pages, this is the part that was so amazing. It says, your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development because success is something you attract by the person you become. And that goes hand in hand with a quote from a John Maxwell book. And it's from the Daily Reader. And it says, successful leaders recognize that personal growth and development of leadership skills are lifetime pursuits. The strategies of taking charge, they found that it is the capacity to develop and improve their skills that distinguish leaders from their followers. They came to the conclusion that leaders are perpetual learners. You guys, I cannot explain to you how much personal development will get you through. It is like kindling to a fire. It's the little pieces. It's the little thing every day that just gives you the burn that no matter how much water somebody pours over the top of your head, your fire still burns from the bottom. It keeps you going. No matter how many angry customers you have, no matter if you have a DT that says, you know what, I'm done, I'm out. No matter if you have an entire diamond leg that crumbles, no matter if you have, you lose all of your rank and you go from diamond to ruby and you have to completely rebuild everything again. You have to have that personal development, and you have to have the ability to look at yourself and go, I can do this. I can do this every day, regardless of what Sally Bob down the street has to say about my business, because she doesn't know me. She doesn't know my why. She doesn't know my joy. She doesn't know what I want to accomplish through this. She doesn't know how I want to change people's lives. And 90% of us got into this for money. Every single one of us got into this to make extra money. We don't stay in it to make the extra money. We all stay in it because this business changes our lives. It changes our futures. And we can see how it changes the lives of everyone that we touch. We become the light in the world. And it was a Zoom that I watched last week where it says, even if you are just the brightest light and all you do is shine a shadow in someone's dark corner, just one day they can see you and you can change their life forever. Just by smiling, just by saying hi, just by having the confidence to talk to them in their face. And you guys, you don't understand the difference that makes, the confidence that personal development and the confidence that this business will give you. When you have the confidence to look a stranger in the face and say, hi, how you doing? Because nobody does that anymore. They're all too busy on their phones. They're all too busy looking down at the ground. And when you engage with somebody face to face, even if it's on a Zoom, if it's on, oh, there goes my brain, Marco Polo, it doesn't matter. I mean, even if it face to face, when you're like in a Target, you should just try this tomorrow. I challenge all of you tomorrow to go out in public. I want you to say hi to 10 people. But when you do it, stop and make them look at you and smile at them. And then just watch the looks on their face. You will be amazed because they will be like, oh, are you talking to me? They will have no clue how to even respond. When you say, hi, how you doing? And you literally stop because they're looking at your shoes. They have no idea you're talking to them. And when they look up and see your bright, smiley face, you have literally added joy to their day, even if it's just for 30 seconds. But you've made a friend for life. Every time you see that person, they'll be like, hey, I remember you. You made me smile. But do it when you're out tomorrow. Say hi to 5 people and stop and make it purposeful. Go live on Facebook. Challenge people to just be who they're supposed to be in their life and to live their dreams. That's my biggest thing. I want so much for people to just remember how to dream, so many people are like, none of this dreaming, this is just not possible. And it is. And it so is. My husband and I had lost it for a long time. And I love the fact that in my kitchen, I don't have a dream board, I have a dream wall. And it says in big purple letters on it, dreams come true. And we are slowly but surely filling it with things and filling it with things that we want to accomplish, not just like the monetary things. There are some things, but I mean, we want to donate to nonprofits. And so we've written and we've printed goals, and those are on our dream walls. And there are family trips that we want. But you guys, you've got to get out. You have to, what is it Lisa Nichols says? Leaders don't live inside a box. There's no, you don't live in a box. Every day they push their comfort zone a little further every day. Every day you push it just a little further and you never let it come back. Needle point moves, and I love it. Needle point moves, it's another book I love. It's called The Slight Edge. It's just that slight edge difference. It's the slight edge difference between a dull knife and a sharp knife. You make one decision and you just change it just a little bit, and it'll make the difference between just doing it and just doing it. And I promise it'll make a world of a difference in your life. Guys, I love you guys to death. And I am so excited to see what the rest of May looks like, not just for this team, but for my team and for everybody's teams. I'm so excited for the rest of May. It's going to be absolutely on fire.
Can I just say something?
And I think that's, yes.
This is Serenity talking. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Serenity.
I just wanted to say that it works. I am doing this. My life is changing rapidly. I'm doing the Miracle Morning. I read the Miracle Morning for the Network Marketer first. Now I'm doing the Miracle Morning with you guys. I have an accountability partner. I'm actually focusing when I do my my tasks. I set alarms for stop, drop, and send friend requests. Stop, drop, and send haps. And it is working. It is incredible. Everything you guys say to do, If you do it, it works. I'm going to be diamond at the end of this month. I have been in this business too long. I'm working too hard and to not. So I'm there, I'm ready, it's working. Thank you guys.
You're amazing. Good job. All right, Miss Courtney.
Guys, I love that. We have to get out of our heads so we can help and serve others and grow our teams. And I am just so excited, Serenity. I absolutely love this. I entitled the Zoom Conquering Those Mountains, guys, because we have to keep going. If a leg falls on your team, that person does not get to determine your success. You're going to quit because a leg falls, or you're not going to get your next rank because someone decided to quit on themselves. No, I'm not going to be home with my little kids because an emerald leg drops or a diamond leg drops. No, guys, you made a decision. You etched that in stone, not in sand to be washed off the shore. You etched that puppy in stone, and you guys are going to work for it. You don't know how it's going to happen, but it's the daily tasks that get you there. You don't see the vision yet? Do the daily tasks, and you're going to see that vision clearer and clearer and clearer, guys. Do your self-development, and it's going to make that vision less foggy. You've got to do the things that get you out of the situation that you're in. Sitting there complaining about a leg falling, complaining about not getting LCs is not getting you closer to your goal. So we have to shed those things that aren't serving us. We are midway through the month, guys. We have 17 days. Amanda, this team brought in over 50,000 BV in 3 days, this team did. So those of you needing 1,000 BV, 2,000 BV, 3,000 BV for these rank up bonuses, that is not out of the question. That is not out of the spectrum. You could sign somewhere Crandall and get 54 LCs in 10 days. We got 17 days left, baby. Let's do this. Get your steps to success done. Not to mention, I made up that contest and I want someone to win that pot. Jennifer's running for that. I think she's done her steps like 3 times this month. Let's do it, guys. Shed those thoughts. Get to work. Get your steps done. Sign a rockin' DT. Put it on your dream board. I'm signing 3 DTs this month, and they're bringing me to the top. I'm getting that $10,000 rank up bonus. I'm helping 5 people this year do the same thing. Get out of debt. Make those leadership bonuses, and it's happening. Guys, it's happening. Drop a 1 if it's happening. Show us. Is it happening? Drop a 1. Drop a 1 in this chat if this is happening, guys. You've got 17 days left. Let's make this happen. I am so stinking excited. I'm going to let Amanda finish this off, but I stinking love you guys. Let's make this the best May that this company has ever seen. It's going to happen. I don't care that school's getting out. I don't care that summer plans are happening. Our dreams are still going to happen.
Well, I just don't think I have anything else to say compared to what you guys all said. So I'm good. This Zoom was so amazing. Thank you guys so much for just sharing all of that, and for Katie and Freya and Courtney for hosting it, and, you know, giving us all your tips and guidance and love, and Courtney for doing that activity with us, and for all of you guys on here who, you know, shared and were truthful and were honest, not only with yourself, but with all of us. I mean, getting vulnerable, I think, is just, you know, it's hard to do. And so, you know, you guys did that, and it is a huge thing, like doing that and then like letting it go and just being aware of it, that those are even inside of us. And I think that activity is just so amazing. So thank you, Courtney, for sharing that with us and doing all this. And I'm just, you know, praying for all of you guys, and that we end this month so strong, because I see what you guys can do. I know what you guys can do. So, you know, let's, you know, end so strong and not sell ourselves short. And then, you know, just continue, just, you know, if we haven't had our running shoes on quite yet this month, let's put them on right now. Let's lace them up, and we'll just, you know, start running. And if you haven't,
climbing that mountain.
Yeah, if you've been running, let's just keep on running together. So love you guys so much. Thank you guys, Courtney and Freya and Katie, and all of you guys for joining.
Guys,
Bye.
guys, I want to thank you. I really needed this Zoom tonight, so thank you.
Yes, we're praying for your mom, my friend.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
This is This is so good. We're going to keep shedding this stuff, guys, shedding it every day. And you guys are going to just love the growth years from now. Next year, you're going to be amazed at the growth a year from that. So just keep doing these things, keep showing up, and I promise you it's going to change your life. Yeah. Love you guys. Keep climbing.